Hello, all my chickadees. Welcome back to Glass Hearts. Today we're going to be continuing where we left off with part 3 of seeing a fellow mental patient creeping off in areas he shouldn't be creeping off to. So we decided to follow after him and see what the heck's going on. We're probably going to get in trouble and beat up by the guards again, but, curiosity and all that. If you haven't seen parts 1 through 3, I suggest you check them out. They're up on my channel, or you can check out under the playlist Glass Hearts. And just so everybody's aware, this game does have some dark themes to it, so if it's something you are uncomfortable with, please click away. I do not want anyone to be put in a bad mental space. This is supposed to be a happy channel. So I always have to warn my dear chickadees. And without further ado, let's jump in and see where this guy is going, because he's going somewhere. Alright. A single light flickered below the ceiling, illuminating the corridor in its intimidating magenta hue with a quiet buzzing sound. With goosebumps rising on his arms, Kai noticed just how much colder it was here than the floor above it. And this looks more medical than the wing we're in. This place is super dark and creepy. I don't have a good feeling about it. Leave me alone already. What more do you want? This has to end. Kai froze in his spot, immediately assuming that it was him that Lian was talking to. But even though the boy was turned in his direction, he didn't seem to notice his presence at all. I can't do this anymore. I can't. Looking past Kai's shoulder, Lian appeared to be talking to someone. Just to make sure, Kai glanced behind himself and saw nothing. No one there. His eyes snapped back to the boy in front of him. The tone of his voice was enough to give Kai chills, but it was the frightened look in his eyes that really spooked him. Why are you saying that? Stop! I don't want to hear it. Please. Please. Lian? No, don't. Can't he see me? Lian, it's me, Kai. Who are you talking to? No, it's not true. It's not. Leave. Lian. He reaches out to grab the boy's shoulder, but the second Kai's fingertips skinned his collarbone, Lian staggered back as if burnt by the touch. His eyes were wide and wild as he slid from whatever he's been looking at to rest on Kai's face, a dim light of recognition filling them a second later. But when Lian spoke again, it wasn't in a manner that Kai had expected. Don't touch me, Kai. He blinked. The sharpness of Lian's voice was cold like steel, and entirely unlike him, threatening to cut Kai open if he didn't obey. Not wanting to take any chances, he took a step back with his hands in front of him so that Lian could see they weren't going anywhere near him. After a few seconds of tension, Lian looked away. He covered his eyes with his palm, resting his back against the wall and sliding to the floor slowly. I'm sorry. I did it again, didn't I? I was hoping no one would have to see me like this. He breathed in and out, letting himself get under control after repeating the process a couple of times. When he was calm enough, Kai shifted his weight from one foot to another awkwardly, the obvious question heavy on his tongue. Okay. Ask him what he saw, give him a moment. I'm curious about what he saw. I really want to know. But also, I feel like we need to give him a moment to, recover. Oh my gosh. I'm curious. What had just happened? Even as Lian collected himself and seemed to be back to his normal self, Kai still didn't dare move from his spot. It wasn't that he was afraid Lian would truly hurt him. He simply didn't want to cause him any more distress. The boy refused to look at him as he replied, "An episode of mine. They happen sometimes. More often now than in the past. I see and hear things, Kai. Shadows that follow and whisper to me. Everyone says that it's my condition that's doing this. That nothing of it is real. They say I shouldn't feed into those delusions, but the shadows, they tell me things. It's all in my head. How can they do that? How can I know something I shouldn't?" With the frenzy from before gone, all that was left in Lian's eyes were numb resignation. Kai desperately wanted to understand. "I'm not sure I'm following?" The boy had asked him the same question a number of times before. Kai understood it even before seeing his reaction, but even if it wasn't the most pleasant thing to talk about, he had to hear at least some of it. Lian closed his eyes and sighed. "There's a morgue on this floor. If we go straight and then turn left, it'll be right there. They brought one fresh body today, an older man who died in one of the other wards." "Are you seeing ghosts? Is he seeing ghosts, guys?" It happened the night before, but they found him in the morning. I know this because he told me that himself." "Lian, I know how that sounds, alright? I know, but it's the truth. I've had those encounters ever since I was a baby. I was 2, maybe 3, and I would already be able to spot them. On the streets, in the playground, following after my relatives, even standing in my own room. I felt like I was never truly alone, but in the worst meaning of the world. Maybe it's only me being crazy. Maybe it's some weird connection that I have to the other side. Or maybe it's something even worse than that. I don't think it even matters. The psychiatrist is convinced he can help me with the right medication. And if he's not wrong, if the treatment is successful, the visions really do stop, then I'd finally..." Lian fell silent, not finishing his sentence. Kai realized that he'd been holding his breath the entire time. "You'd be free?" "Yes, at least from that." So Lian thinks he sees ghosts. I can't imagine how tough it must be on him. What if he really is seeing ghosts, okay? He's not crazy. He was just born with the ability to see ghosts like a medium. Huh? I'm hoping he's not crazy and he's just seeing actual ghosts, because that's actually really cool. I mean, it'd be annoying and creepy as hell, but... okay. Kai grew up in a family that didn't believe in superstition. Both of his parents were religious to a point and supported the concept of heaven and hell, but Kai honestly doubt they would believe him if their son woke up one day claiming he could see the afterlife. Not that they listened to much of what he thought and said anyway. Still, Lian must have had it hard, especially as a child growing up seeing terrors that existed to no one but him. It's eerie to even think that he might be seeing these things that don't belong in the world, even if it's only in his head. "I didn't mean to tell you any of it. I'm not well. I have to go back to my room." Lian got up to his feet, face contorted in a grimace. He brushed his hair back behind his ears and gave Kai a bright glare. "Please forget what you saw today." Oh, flashback. "Is this your final decision, Kai? You're only 18. You don't know what it's like to be an adult yet." "Is he old enough to defy us on... If he is old enough to defy us on every occasion, he is old enough to fend for himself." "Dear, please. He's still our boy. We've had our differences. We might not always see eye to eye, but he is our child." "Kai, take a rest and give it some more thought. I know we've been harsh on you lately, but believe me when I say it was all for your own good. You think you know what's best for you, but you haven't experienced real-life troubles yet. Other people won't be as tolerant as we are." He wanted to leave and go out on his own. Every once in a while, Kai would dream of his parents. Their values and priorities had been clear to him his entire life. As their first and only son, Kai was supposed to be the perfect child. Well-educated, well-mannered, making a respectable career and securing a proper wife. A flawless model of masculinity, fulfilling all the social expectations that their friends and relatives had held to high esteem. It wasn't complicated. He just had to be whatever everyone expected him to be. But Kai, even when he was still too afraid to voice it out, knew in his heart that it wasn't meant to be. Things only got worse when financial troubles came. His father lost his business when Kai was still a teenager, which in turn made his mother blame every single affair he had on Kai's misbehaving. "It's because you're this way that he stopped loving me," she would tell him, all the while sobbing onto Kai's shoulder. "It's because I wasn't able to give him a normal son." Oh, oof. No. It's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. Oh my gosh. Now that's damaging. That is damaging to a kid's psyche. On other, better days, she would apologize. "I wasn't thinking straight, Kai. I didn't mean what I said." But the words never truly felt sincere. Not when she would bring herself to hug him or say she loved him like she used to. Kai moved out at 18 years old, sad and relieved at the same time. Oh yeah, heck. Playing those games like that, you need to get out. Definitely. He couldn't finish college anymore, but he told himself that it was alright. That since he was willing to work, he could rely on his youth and enthusiasm at first. Once he gained enough experience, he'd be able to apply for better positions even without a degree. Perhaps, due to his positive attitude at the beginning, Kai had a lot of luck when it came to job seeking. He worked on a construction site for a bit, then in a flower shop, then in a restaurant, then in a hotel. He wasn't afraid of anything and always made sure to speak politely towards your clients and coworkers, which made him a good colleague and an even better employee. Everything was going well enough financially for Kai to be able to start sending money to his struggling parents, all the while saving up to maybe, hopefully, continue his education one day. Those plans were remote, and as long as he lived hand to mouth, starting college again was something that stayed far away on the horizon of possibilities. It was that night that changed everything. After he gave up his job at the restaurant and became a receptionist in the hotel, Kai had to change the rhythm of his day. He was waking up later, working through his 9-hour shift, and going home a little before 10, weary and exhausted. It was on one of those nights that he ran into Huzen. Oh, are we actually going to learn more about what happened? Oh, that was a guy and a girl. Did I do the right thing back then? What if I simply turned away and minded my own business? I don't want to think about it over and over again, but the fact that everyone thinks I killed him. The same scenario played in Kai's mind several times before he forcefully dragged his thoughts away from it. He was most prone to losing himself in memories of that night when he was alone in the room. For some reason, Moyu's silent presence acted like a barrier between Kai's regret and his acceptance of where they led him. He reached under his bed for the books that Subin brought. It didn't matter which one fell into his hand. He just wanted to take his mind off the past, even if just for a moment. No. Kai had a rude awakening in the morning. A man Kai saw earlier entered their room, followed by Chin. The man spoke with annoyance in his voice. "Today we're searching your stuff. Come on, get up. Put all your things on the bed." What's going on? Why are you searching my stuff? "We're not searching your stuff specifically." He pulled out a small handheld device that looked like a game console. "We found this dangerous electronic appliance on one of the patients yesterday. Now we're searching everyone to make sure you don't have anything of the sort." A game console is dangerous? A game console isn't dangerous. What harm can it do? "Listen, you're making this way too complicated. I'm not here to discuss anything with you. I'm here to check if everything is according to regulations. All electronic devices are banned. After a brief pause, he added, we'll have to use force if you don't cooperate. Then he addressed Moyu in a similar tone. Same goes for you, sleepyhead. I'll check this one. He's my patient. Of course you'll check Moyu's. Oh my gosh. Don't worry, Moyu. I'll take a quick look at your stuff. You don't need to get up. Poor Moyu. Moyu didn't look too pleased with what was going on, but he didn't say or do anything. It's not like we can say or do anything anyway. If we don't want to get beat up. Present with no options, Kai had to comply. He laid out all his clothes, books, and the few remaining possessions out on the bed. The nurse checked under the bed, opened the drawers of the bedside table, and even lifted the mattress. Was it so hard? Next time, just let us do our work. Tch. Kai found it difficult not to glare at the guy. And that's it. Expect next one whenever. Remember that we do this for your safety. What if one of our neighbors had a knife? One of your neighbors had a knife. They left before Kai could decide on the right sarcastic comment to make. There was plenty bouncing in his head. A knife? Or a sharp game console? The next day, Kai found himself having no appetite at all, and refused to eat both breakfast and lunch. He sat in the chair idly, fiddling with his fork and knife without any intention to put them to work. Moyu noticed. He didn't say anything. Of course he didn't. But Kai could feel his eyes on him, a gaze that could almost be described as concern. Aw, Moyu is concerned about us. Good baby. When the patients handed over their empty food tray and moved into the common area as usual, Kai stalled behind. Chen's attention was no longer on him all the time, and he was fairly confident he could sneak past the nurses and go back to his room unnoticed. Since another day watching reality TV could really kill him this time. Kai headed towards the exit, but as he was walking past the kitchen, already empty and cleaned up by the staff, he noticed that something wasn't quite right. What is it? There's an odd noise coming from behind the counter. What could it be? A mouse? Half expecting to find a cute rodent spoiling itself on their leftovers, Kai peeked behind the counter. Xiuling? What do you think? Are you doing what I think you're doing? Huh? Why are you here, new guy? I'm still the new guy for you. No one newer than you, as far as I know. You were stealing food. Well, you didn't find a mouse, but you found a mouse-like human. He's like, yeah, everybody's distracted. I'm getting me some more food. I wouldn't call it stealing. They just don't feed us enough, so I'm helping myself get the nutritional balance right. What? I'm a big guy, you know. You can come check for yourself if you don't believe me. Oh my gosh. Okay, I will report you. Maybe I should stay silent. Okay, we're not gonna report him, okay? Nobody deserves the freaking guards unless they're actually doing something bad. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. Hold on while I fetch a pair of gloves. Oh no, we're gonna get in trouble. Oh no. Wow, gotta admit I didn't expect that. A point for you, pretty boy. You have some sense of humor after all. So, if you're not yet running to report me, maybe you want to come down here and join the picnic? No one will show up for at least an hour. More than enough time to get a nice snack. Trust me, I've done it before. Oh no. We need our extra snackies, but I have a feeling we're gonna get in trouble. Our luck is so bad. It's so bad that if we go in there like 2 seconds later, we're gonna get caught and punished. You know? Hesitate. Now that I think of it, I am quite hungry. Skipping meals is never a good idea. Come on, don't overthink things. I can practically hear the cogwheels turning in your head, and your stomach growling. You should enjoy yourself while you can. Life is stupidly short. Who knows how much shorter it gets every time your brows furrow like that. Fine, only this once. Whatever you say. Oh, look at the art! Ouch. I'm so full. Kai would rather die than admit it out loud, but he did feel 10 times better now that he had a properly sized meal and his stomach could happily take its time to digest the excess. For a moment, it felt like he was back working in the restaurant with Subin, taking all the delicious leftovers home and throwing a small feast for himself once in a while. I can see from that small smile that you had a good time after all. Yeah, I did. I knew it. So, how does it feel to become a food criminal? Better than other sorts of criminals, that's for sure. Xiuling hummed, instantly understanding the notion behind Kai's words. Right. You were a murder suspect from what I heard. Sucks to get accused like that and then sent to a shithole like Long River. Aren't you mad? By now, everyone must know how it got here. People always gossip. You say it like you know I didn't do it. One look at you and I can tell you didn't. Those doe eyes are too innocent to belong to a murderer. Maybe I'm just very good at hiding it? Xiuling actually had the audacity to snort at that. He put his bowl down, looking Kai in the eyes. Trust me, I know. You're not even keeping up appearances. Granted that you wanted to in the first place, you're oozing good guy energy. People always count on you, yeah? I bet you worked hard your entire life and never wanted to burden anyone. Never broke the law, never asked for help, but freely offered yours. I knew someone like you before. A nice guy. Pretty like a doll and much too nice for... Xiuling stopped himself mid-sentence and cleared his throat. Yeah, what I'm saying is, people like you aren't that common to come across. But once you do it, you know. But once you do, you know it. Who was it? Did he know Moyu before this? Who was it? That guy. This is a long story. I used to live in an orphanage with a lot of kids my age, and he was one of them. Sounded like more than that. Xiuling broke eye contact, his facial expression turning wistful. Kai could feel the atmosphere between them change, almost on a physical degree. They sat in silence for a few moments, and then Kai slowly got up to his feet. I'm finished. Thanks for the meal, I guess. Not like it was yours to offer, but I'm equally guilty for accepting. Anytime. Don't beat yourself up over it. We do what we have to survive. Sure. Kai stretched a little and straightened his t-shirt. He tried not to admit to himself that Xiuling's company turned out to be surprisingly bearable. At least this time. Oh, did we get away with it? Well, no. Did we get caught? No! Shouldn't Chin be in the common room at this hour? Kai stopped dead in his tracks, hiding behind the corner before the nurse had a chance to turn around and spot him. He squinted, observing Chin for a moment before deciding what his next move should be. Chin paced back and forth in the empty corridor, glancing around nervously as if waiting for someone to appear. Strange. I don't think he saw me. If I stay where I am, he shouldn't be able to, but the problem is, if I want to reach my room, I have to walk past him. I'll wait. Maybe he'll go away. Chin? You sure took your time. We'd both be in trouble if anyone saw me and got suspicious. I'm sorry, the head nurse took her time explaining the new nurse training program. It won't happen again. I hope it won't. You got what I asked for? Yes. Good, then follow me. We will talk inside. Yeah, what are they? Oh no. Oh no. Ugh. What are they doing? Because we saw them talking before about something, and she was asking questions about Moyu. Mm, it's a nurse. I saw her before. She was asking some strange questions about Moyu in the cafeteria. I wonder what she and Chin were talking about. Yeah, what is she giving him? Over the course of his stay in the hospital, Kai came to learn a couple of things about Moyu. His roommate was a shy, reserved man that didn't care much for making friends or spending time with others. He'd rather be left alone, looking out of the window or simply lost in his own head. He didn't interact with other people, Kai being able to talk to him and Chin having the obligation to talk to him seemed to be the only exceptions to the rule. Moyu never made a fuss about anything, eating what he was given, taking all the medication, and listening to Chin's instructions like a model patient. He went to sleep early and woke up even before their nurse appeared. He never complained about his frequent visits to the psychiatrist and various doctors, even though there were plenty, even more than Kai's. On the outside, he seemed the same every day, but despite the seemingly indifferent facade that he put on, Kai noticed that Moyu's moods differed, that he had better and worse days. Sometimes Moyu would be especially lively, glancing over towards Kai and shifting restlessly into his seat as if he wanted to start a conversation. It was much easier to talk to him when he was like this, and Kai often took advantage, saying the silliest things just to get a response. Oh. Other times he was almost entirely unresponsive, and no matter what Kai did, Moyu would simply ignore him. At first, Kai tried to pull him out of that state, but soon learned it was mostly futile. Windows seemed to be his thing, though. Whenever he could, and no matter how he felt that day, Moyu would always seek a glimpse of the outside world. And sometimes, it felt like the outside world sought a glimpse of him, too. They were sitting at one of the tables by the window, just like Moyu preferred, when suddenly a knock came from the other side. Kai's ears perked up. He turned his head to see two people outside the hospital staring at them and pointing their fingers at Moyu. They kept tapping against the glass, trying to prompt a reaction, or perhaps make his roommate look their way. What the hell? One of them pulled out a cell phone and put it in their direction, as if trying to take a picture. Not again. Should I call the police? Whether the onlookers could hear Chin or not, after a moment of stalling, they left. Kai suspected they got what they came for, because he could see them laughing and gesturing towards a phone screen as they walked. How does outside people know about Moyu? Huh? Chin huffed and turned to Moyu. I don't want you to sit so close to the windows next time. Who knows how many more will come? Moyu's gaze didn't flicker. Let's get you back to your room. He just wants to look outside, guys. Oh, now he can't get that close. Oh. When Kai got up from his seat to follow, Chin clicked his tongue and frowned. You have 1 more hour. It's leisure time, remember? I'll take care of him. I don't trust you to take care of him. I don't trust you. We want to go with Moyu. We want to make sure he is okay. We don't trust you as far as we can frickin' throw you. For the next 2 hours after Kai came back to the room, Moyu didn't say a word. Kai complimented reading a book to pass the time, but the gloomy air surrounding his roommate made it difficult to relax. Talk to us, Moyu! Talk to us! Kai turned the event from before in his head, but came up with nothing. There were so many things that he simply didn't understand. Talk to Moyu! Talk to Moyu! Letting himself act on impulse before he could regret it, Kai took his cards out of his backpack and made his way over to Moyu's bed. Can I sit next to you? For a couple of strained seconds, Kai was sure that he'd be left there standing like an idiot, invisible to Moyu's eyes. They'd made a lot of progress these past several days and gotten closer, if that was true, but Moyu was still just as unreachable and hard to approach as he'd always been. I wonder what made Moyu the way he is. Did something happen in his life that changed him so drastically? Or is it the medicine? I mean, it could be both. It honestly could be both. I'm thinking the medicine is a good chunk of it. Even if I asked, I don't think he would tell me anything. Just when he was about to give up and go back to his bed, Moyu raised his beautiful eyes to look at him. Yes, sit. Not having to be told twice, Kai nodded with a small smile and obliged. Actually, I was wondering if you'd like to play with me. It's an easy game. You'll see. I think you might like it. The moment he pulled out the cards and showed them to Moyu, his roommate's eyes lit up a little, sparking with a timid interest. Kai decided to teach him a simple version of one of the games he'd been playing with himself a couple of times before, each time speaking aloud and trying to sneakily get Moyu to understand some of it. His roommate seemed interested each time he did. What if he actually remembered at least a portion of the rules? The thought was strangely exciting, though Kai had no idea why. Let me explain how we're going to play, alright? I'll repeat if you don't catch everything right away, no worries. From the way Moyu's brows knitted in total concentration, Kai could already tell that there won't be a need for that. He traced every move of Kai's hands willingly, and when the time came to mimic them, he did so almost perfectly. Oh, he's trying so hard. Wow, a quick learner. The game was simple, but not that simple. It required some quick thinking and a certain dose of creativity. But as it turned out, Moyu had both. They played a few rounds, Kai pointing out his roommate's errors and giving suggestions on how to avoid them, until Moyu fully grasped the rules, hardly making any mistakes. He's smart after all. I feel kind of bad for thinking he wasn't. I wish it wasn't so hard to talk to him, though. But you're doing the next best thing. You're interacting with him. That makes me happy. They're actually interacting. And he's being positive and... yes. They continued the game for 2 hours, and Moyu still wasn't showing any sign of fatigue. Kai wondered whether he should try teaching him other games, too. Especially since he defeated me the last 3 times. Moyu definitely learned those rules, and he's kicking our butts now. I didn't expect it. Surely not on the first day. You're awesome, Moyu. Did so well for a beginner. I'm not even sure I could do it. His roommate's ears got redder at the compliment. How adorable. Is something the matter? Moyu? No. All of a sudden, he turned all pouty. I can see something is wrong. Tell me, please. It didn't. I wish it didn't end. What do you mean? The game? We can play a little more if you want to. Moyu just shook his head, pouting even more. No. What did you wish didn't end, buddy? Would you like to go to sleep then? It would come in handy to be able to read his mind. But, whether he does or doesn't want to go to sleep, it has actually gotten pretty late. We should probably wrap it up for today and get some rest, or we won't be able to wake up in the morning. And so Kai made sure to praise Moyu once again before tidying up their cards set up and relocating to his own bed. Good night. It's just a feeling. It was nearly impossible to see anything in thick darkness once the lights were off, but Kai could swear he felt Moyu's eyes on him as he fell asleep. The baby needs positive moments. He needs positive moments like this. Yes. Yes. Okay, let's see. Sorry. I'm yawning here. By some fortunate turn of events, when they were called out for leisure time the next day, Chen informed Kai and Moyu that he and the other staff members had some urgent tasks to attend to. If you need help, ask one of the guards or the remaining nurses. I won't be back in the hospital until tomorrow morning. Good! Be gone! Good riddance! Get out of here! Kai simply nodded, feeling disinterest, but as soon as they took their place in the cafeteria queue, he started planning on how to use a little bit of unexpected freedom to the fullest. Almost no one seems to be watching us today. It's a little strange to be unsupervised after all this time, but I know I should get used to it. Still, it's been a while since I did anything other than see my psychiatrist or reading books, so I think it's high time to change that and do something else. How about taking Moyu somewhere? Yes! All he ever does is sit in our room or go to the cafeteria, all the while being creeped on by Chin and pretty much everyone else. Kai wondered if his roommate had any family, or at least one person who would visit him from time to time, make his day a little better. A familiar face in the crowd that Moyu would be able to smile at, knowing he's missed. So far, it didn't look that way. Even if he doesn't express it, he must be lonely. His roommate seemed to be in a better mood than usual, digging into the porridge with some vigor for once. Whether it was due to Chin's absence or something else, Kai didn't know, but he intended to make the most of it. I sincerely doubt that it's the quality of the meal that lifted his spirits, but it's a good sign he has an appetite. The second their plates were empty and the other patients started getting up from their seats, Kai grabbed Moyu's wrist and pulled him off towards the exit. He's like, "What?" "It's okay. Just trust me. The nurses that know us aren't here today." But Moyu didn't seem convinced. His brows furrowed cutely, lips pursing. "Where?" "A tour. It's gonna be fun, you'll see. I'm sure there's lots of places in this building you haven't been to. Some you might even find interesting." The last time he tried to walk around the hospital didn't end up well, but Kai was convinced he knew where he went wrong and was willing to try again. Okay. Yeah, we got busted by the guards last time and they beat us up. So let's be extra careful. I don't want Kai to get hurt. The corridors were crowded at this time of day, full with patients, their visiting family, and members of the staff that the other wards came to watch over. So if there was ever a good moment to go anywhere he normally couldn't, it was now. Besides, if they were questioned this time, Kai had an idea too on what he could say to avoid the last scenario. There were medical procedures and psychotherapy sessions taking place that require patients to go upstairs. Not to mention, Kai managed to memorize the layout of the second floor from the hospital presentation, and was quite sure he could find a way around it without raising suspicion at all. Yes! Okay, this is where we got busted by the guards last time. Moyu was surprisingly meek as Kai led him upstairs, not trying to protest or draw any attention to the two of them when they walked past the other patients and the hospital staff. Maybe his obedience was to be expected. His roommate listened to almost anything Chin said without complaints, but Kai couldn't help but feel happy nonetheless. Okay, going up is patient rooms, down is elevators, to the right is x-ray room, to the left emergency exit, Terrence doctor's office. There's the Terrence. I'm sure Moyu has never seen it before, so I wanted to make it a surprise. It'll be exciting to see his reaction. Kai? Moyu's eyelids fluttered as he measured Kai with a long, questioning glance. He was starting to get impatient. I know, just a little farther. You want to see something nice, don't you? Moyu cast him a doubtful look, but otherwise didn't object when Kai steered him in the direction of the Terrace. To his surprise, and relief, the glass door leading to it was open. This is great. I don't think this place is meant for patients, but I'll make sure no one will see us. I told you it's going to be nice. How do you like it? Kai took Moyu to the far left of the Terrace, making sure that staff wouldn't be able to spot them even if they happened to pass by. Clever. Very pretty. He's blushing! See, I didn't lie to you. I wanted you to see something pretty. Aw, because remember, he likes looking out the windows and seeing the outside. So, us coming out on this balcony high up, he can see everything. Yay! Let's go closer. Look at the art! Ah! Oh, he's so pretty. Look! Oh my gosh! I love it. I love it. I love it. Something rose in Kai's chest, a warm and delighted feeling that he usually got when Moyu watched him play, but multiplied tenfold. It was astonishing to see so many raw emotions written on that pensive face, and know that it was him who made it happen. His roommate turned his head in one direction, then the other, looking like he wanted to engrave the urban oh my gosh, I can't speak today, panorama into his heart. After a while, his gaze rested on one of the tallest skyscrapers and stayed there. The city lights reflected in Moru's irises seemed to be even more vivid and lively than they did when Kai looked directly at them. It was memorizing, foreign sight that he couldn't get a hold enough of. Thank you. My pleasure. They stood like this for a long time, bearing witness as the sky turned a shade darker, even though Kai knew that they should go back if they didn't want to get caught. Eventually, ruining the moment was a difficult choice to make. I'm not sure when I'll be able to see Moyu like this again. Oh my gosh, beautiful and happy are both of the same ones. Okay, we should say happy, because yeah, he's beautiful. We know he's beautiful. We know he's beautiful. Everyone knows he's beautiful. But happy. Happy. I'm not sure I've ever seen such sincere happiness on his face before. Kai? Have I been staring? We should go. I don't care if I get punished, but don't want you to get in trouble. Something akin to regret flashed over Moyu's face, but he still nodded, following Kai inside. They didn't see a single soul on their way back. No guards, no patients, no nurses. Perfect! Perfect! When they closed the door to the room, safe and sound, Moyu cocked his head to the side, giving him a small, sincere smile. The only thought that entered Kai's mind was that something akin to a miracle must have happened. He would risk so much more than a beating to see that smile again. Ah! Okay, I'm gonna stop it here. Oh my gosh, we made him smile! We made Moyu smile! Oh my gosh, I'm happy for that. We found out some more about Lian and Xiuling, and we made Moyu smile. We get a day off from Chin. Heck yeah. We needed that. Okay, I am going to leave this here. Remember to leave a like or comment down below if you guys are excited about seeing the next part. It helps me know when to get things out quicker. But, okay, I am leaving now, even though I would like to play more. I'll have to just put it in the next video, right? Yeah, right. Okay. Bye, chickadees. I'll see you next time.